my daily blog for April 12th, 2023. Trombone talk and techniques. Practice today. My high Fs are starting to come out, but it's going to be some work. Flexibility's doing well. I didn't make any shorts today. I will probably tomorrow. I released my lesson 3 video just momentarily. I wanted to release it. I put today's date on, and some reason it changed to tomorrow. I don't know why I did that. So I had to just release it. What a pain. I also had trouble posting it to Facebook. It didn't want to put any image in. It just put a link. It wouldn't let me put the image in Facebook. I think Facebook is going after me, or I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But anyway, tecnologia in Portuguese. Technology. I watched a very serious video this morning, which actually is concerned with music also, but they don't talk about music in this video. I'll put a post on the bottom. It's very long. It's a very serious discussion about artificial intelligence and Chat GTP. Of course, when I started music, none of this existed. When I was in junior high, my bike got stolen. I was doing after school or end of the school program where we'd go ride bicycles, and then one day someone stole my bicycle. So I said, well, I have to change. And I said, well, why don't you go upstairs to the math room where all the calculators are, and there's a friend of yours up there who's playing with our modem connected to the computer at the Gannon University. This is Erie, Pennsylvania. I said, wow, that sounds cool. So I went up there, and there's David Hathaway, longtime friend, baritone player. And he says, look, I can put the phone on here. It can make some bleeps and bloops and goes in, connects to the computer, big computer in Gannon University, and we can play Find the Star track or something like that. I don't remember. It's something you had to type in coordinates and try and find things. It's my first experience with computers, a very long time ago. And of course, there was nothing involved in music. Oh, except my friend Donald Davis, one day, I think it was the next year, he said, come check my house, check out what I just bought. And he had a keyboard. I don't remember what it was, but it was basically a synthesizer. And we said, wow, that's really cool. It makes all these sounds. Very cool. Like Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Because at that time we liked Emerson, Lake and Palmer with his huge the huge setup with all the keyboards. And Donald was fascinated by that. And we didn't think anything of it. Later on I studied, and then went to college and, started working, doing some recording and playing in bands, played in a 10-piece show band and played in big bands and didn't do much studio work. And then along came CDs and digital recording. Things started to change. The synthesizers started becoming more sophisticated. They had something called an ARP that made string sounds where they were replacing the string players on recordings and having just played on this thing instead of hiring 8 or 10 or 15 violinists. You could just play it and it sounded like strings. There's the first sign of technology replacing people in music. And of course, in the disco era was the drum machine. Okay, that replaced the drummer. And then, as technology advanced, we have MIDI, something called MIDI. And you could have a program that would program the synthesizer to play to automatically put a song in. So we immediately, of course, I thought this was cool, and I got a sequencer, they called it, and I got my first computer around 1991. Started working with different programs, and I could make band tracks. I even sold some band tracks made with the MIDI synthesizers and computers. And then we said, why would we have a 10-piece band? We could program all the parts in and went down to a 3-piece band. But what eventually got boring. That's when I started going and saying, I'm just going to play jazz from now on. I'm tired of playing pop music and everything pre-programmed electronic disco synthesized. So time went on. A friend of mine, Art Lurch, he had a recording studio in his house, and he had I think it was an 8-track machine and a board and everything, and it was fine. And then I worked on cruise ships, and they did a lot of stuff with DATs. They would play the whole show synced, the production shows synced to a tape, click, click, and click, and then it would start. We were only a 7-piece band, and they would have everything playing along with us, a click track. The first click tracks I worked with, not the first click tracks, but um, commercially. And then came this digital recording where they could do pitch correct. Remember, like the first Cher song where it had that strange vocal effect, and it was just a vocal effect at that time. But that was, and then you could buy very soon after that. You could buy devices that could harmonize with you, and digitally make harmonies and correct your pitch. And then came out this computer program, digital recording, where you could just record something live and then cut and paste and change it all around, and you could even change the notes. I don't even remember what it was called. Okay, that's the next generation. So a singer would go in, record a verse and a chorus and maybe a few more verses, and just repeat. If it repeated the chorus, they would just paste and cut the chorus on and on and on, which of course they could do with all the instruments. They could record a horn lick and then just paste it, cut and paste it throughout the whole song wherever they wanted that horn lick or string parts or guitar parts or whatever. So of course this is saving money and money and money. And it goes on. Technology keeps increasing. Now, more and more frequently in 2000 and around there, main artists were doing public performances with click track and big concerts, the lights and all that stuff, and then they weren't even singing; they were lip syncing only singing the parts, and then they would go dance. And Britney Spears and Beyonce and these big artists were what I call cheating. And wait a minute, there was no musicians on stage; there were just dancers. They cut out all the live musicians. And that's what happened in Las Vegas. Also, when in the 1990s they did everything with click track, they cut out all the musicians. They went to Los Angeles with the scores, recorded them. All those Las Vegas musicians in the big casinos, the shows, were out of work, gone. See ya, replaced. It's starting to sound depressing, but it gets worse, even worse now. Now they've invented a thing called artificial intelligence. Now these programs, this program, artificial chat GTP, etc., you can give it, say, write me some song lyrics based on my true love left me yesterday, and you tell it to write it in, it would write you a set of song lyrics. Oh my God. Chat GTP. And then the artificial intelligence now can listen to somebody's voice. They have a recording of your vocals, can copy the tone of your voice. You put in that lyric, and you say, invent a melody that goes along with that lyric, and it composes the melody with the voice of that person, even though they're not singing that. You think that's incredible, but this is happening now, and it's hard to believe that what we're musicians are going to be out of jobs no more. Well, it's not true. That's why I play jazz, because I don't think jazz will ever be able. Some artificial intelligence won't be able to replicate live performance of jazz because you can't fake it. You can't get up there and lip sync improvise solo. Doesn't work. No, it's never going to happen. That will never happen. And real musicians playing real music will never happen. It will always happen. We'll always be able to play and perform. The problem is, so many people are ignorant to the fact, especially in pop music, that most of it is not real. It's fake. And it's going to become more in the next 4 or 5 years, or maybe less, more and more and more fake music. It, it's mind-boggling with this artificial intelligence now. Elon Musk said we should take a break and stop developing this, because what about copyright? What if you take a recording of an artist, put it into Chat GPT, and then make a song with the Chat GTP and release it that guy's voice without their permission? Wouldn't that be illegal? You're copying their voice, say, even to me, the legal ramifications are incredible. I mean, this can be done now. They can copy the voice of somebody, for example, a newscaster or a politician speaking. Copy the AI copies the voice, and you can just type in what they want them to say, and then it says it just like the person. It imitates the person, so you can't tell the difference. What a strange world we're entering into right now. So that's my rant for today. Let me know what you think. It's a bit disturbing, and listen to jazz. Pop music is done. It's finished. It's so much pre-programmed electronic disco now. It's just not real anymore. It's fake. Very few real singers or artists. Everything pitch correct, everything done with computers that are even not even sung anymore, not even singing the verse anymore. You just type in the words, and the events. Maybe you can put in some notes, and then does it for you. You don't even have to sing it. Give me a break. That's not music. That's not art. That's nothing. That's computer generated garbage. So that's my rant for today. I better shut up.